What's up? You checking out the Frequent Flyer. If you're returning, welcome back. Getting back in the swing of things. This here is the Warlark Pro, and I did an unboxing on this thing a few videos back, and I never got a chance to fly this thing because I was unable to get this thing in the air. I had a problem with the settings on the receivers with this thing. Now, it turns out this hardware that this comes with is not compatible with the newer versions of Betaflight or Cleanflight for that matter. So the only thing that you can do when you get this thing is set up the modes. Be careful if you get this. Make sure you don't do anything except for set up the modes, because that's just about all you can do with this thing if you plug it up to Betaflight. I guess it's just configured different, or the code in it is written different, because all I did was, this thing comes with motor stop on, and I really don't like the motor stop to be in the on position, because that means when you go to zero throttle, the props stop spinning. And when you arm, the props are not spinning. And so you really don't know when you have this thing armed. And so that causes for some mistakes. Sometimes you can have it armed and not really know that it's armed and go up on the throttle or bump the throttle and this thing will take off flying somewhere. But this was the problem that I was having with this. I tried to turn motor stop off and I ended up never getting this thing to work again. And I did get this from GearBest, and so I was searching online trying to get a new receiver. This comes with a receiver combo. It's a receiver and F3 board all in one, and it plugs in to the top of this board that's on here. I guess this is a 4-in-1 ESC that's in here. 4-in-1 ESC and distribution board, power distribution board in there, and this plugs on top. And then on top of that, the VTX plugs on top of that. And so I was looking for a new module, an F3 and FR Sky module. My original version was DSMX, and I was thinking that it had something to do with the inversion of the signal, but it has to do with Betaflight itself. It's not compatible with the newer version of Betaflight. I don't think they're going to update it or anything. So if you get this, be careful. Do not turn off the motor stop. You're going to have to fly with motor stop on in angle mode if you're flying it. But you can, however, fly this in air mode, and the motors do spin if you have it in air mode. So that's one way around it, but not everybody can fly acro. So a lot of you guys are probably going to be facing that dilemma there that I was having. Some of you guys probably like that, but I know I didn't like not having the prop spinning once I arm. But other than that, this thing seems like a pretty nice flyer. Has pretty decent power for a Tiny Whoop clone. Well, this is actually a brushless Tiny Whoop. It has brushless motors. These props are pretty unique here. They actually fit over the bell of the motor. These motors, it says in the product page that they're 6,500 kV, but these are actually 7,200 kV. And this thing flies pretty nice. I think my only complaint with it, outside of the fact that it's not configurable fully through Betaflight or Cleanflight, is that this camera here has a very narrow field of view. So I had to get used to that. It takes some getting used to fly it around normally. And even outside, I was having a little bit of a problem flying this thing with that narrow field of view that's on this camera. I'm guessing you can swap it out. And that's the only complaint I have, really. Other than that, this thing flies really nice. It seems to be pretty durable, although it does seem like it will break if you crash this thing on concrete. You should have no problems in grass. So I would recommend flying this thing over a grassy area if you're not going to be flying it indoors. It's a really nice flyer outdoors. I have flown it a little indoors, but I think this thing is way too fast to fly in a small house or a small room. And this thing flies really fast. If you smack this into a wall or a television or something, I think the results won't be good for this, or maybe even the television. It does have a little bit of weight on it. Let's get the scale out and weigh this thing. So the dry weight is 50.1 grams. So you're looking at about 50 grams. It does come with this battery here. This battery only has a balancing lead on it. It's a 2S battery. This LiPo is a 500 milliamp hour 25C. And so let's weigh it with the LiPo on it that it comes with. 73.6 grams. And so I find this a little heavy. And also it has this battery bay here. You shove it in there like that. And it seems like it doesn't go all the way towards the front to be in the middle of the aircraft. And so I think it hangs off a little from the back. I did, however, purchase these batteries here. These are Tattoo 45C 300 milliamp hour 2S batteries. And these are a little lighter. It seems to like these better than this thing. So I would recommend buying these batteries here. They do come with a different connector on here. I did switch this to XT30 because I switched all of my little 2S flyers to XT30, and I've been using this originally to fly my little Mantis. Pretty awesome battery for the Mantis, but you don't need any of these type of connectors to fly it on this because all you need is the balance lead. And so this goes in a little further than the stock battery, and so I think it's better centered there. And so you can plug this in here and have a pretty decent punch out with it with this battery. The punch out is okay, I guess, with this battery, but it seems a little heavy to me. And so this battery would be the way to go if you guys could afford to get some new batteries for it. Other than that, this thing is a pretty decent little flyer. Really fast outdoors. And it's only got a 25 milliwatt VTX there. There's a little heatsink on top. As a matter of fact, let's open this thing up so I can show you guys that. So check it out. This antenna, I think, didn't come with it. It came with another one. I think I added this one. But it comes with one similar, if not this one. Not sure. Can't remember. I do have the FR Sky version now. It binds to D8 mode. This whole thing is soft mounted with these rubber grommets here on the side. Tiny whoop style grommets on the side there. And I really don't want to pull the pins loose here. So this is the VTX here with the heat sink on top. And as you can see here, it plugs in via pins. You have them on both sides. And it plugs into this second board here, which is the F3 and receiver board. So that's your F3 and RX there. And then that plugs in with these pins here. It has a set of pins here in the rear and in the front that plugs it to this power distribution / ESC board, 4-in-1 ESC. And you have your USB connection back here. And there's a bind button here. And this is a boot button. And it doubles as a frequency button as well. And so pretty easy bind to it. It's hard to see it though. And they don't explain where the bind button is on this thing. And so you just stick something in there and hold it down while you plug power into it. And then you can bind it to your transmitter and you just set your modes up in beta flight or clean flight. Now I think if you don't set the modes up, you'll be stuck in angle mode and you'll have to arm by moving the left stick to the lower inside corner, I think it is. But if you're going to change the modes, definitely do that, and that's all. Nothing else, or else your receiver channels won't respond, or else your receiver won't respond to your transmitter. So that's really important for you guys to note, that the only thing you can do with this in beta flight, as far as I know, is to just change the modes. That's all you can do, is change the modes. If you try to do anything else, the settings can be scrambled and you won't be able to get response from your receiver and you won't be able to get in the air. So I contacted Newbie Drone. Well, first I just ordered one of these RXs from Newbie Drone, and I ordered the FR Sky version, and everything was working fine until I tried to change that motor stop. But I contacted them and I was able to get them to send me another one. And so they sent me another receiver. Another thing that I recommend doing when you first get this thing is go to CLI and do a dump and copy all the settings to a text file on your desktop. And that way, if you fool around with anything or forget, then you can just copy everything back into CLI and hit save, type in save, hit enter, and then you can have everything restored back to factory. And that's what I ended up doing, because I did try to change motor stop again, but I did make me a backup first, and the same thing happened. That's how I figured out that you can't really use Betaflight or CleanFlight with this thing. I tried it in CleanFlight, it didn't work either. And so I copied my settings back over, and this thing works just like it did initially now. So be aware of that. That's another thing you need to do. Do a dump and copy your settings all over. And Newbie Drone did send me some goodies. They sent me these nice battery straps, really nice battery straps. And they also sent me this lanyard here for my transmitter. Pretty decent lanyard here. The lanyard does come apart here, so you can detach it. So in cases where you need to get your transmitter off your neck really quick, you can just hit this latch there and pull it off, and then you can just latch it back on and start flying again. So pretty awesome with that. And they didn't just send me that because I'm the frequent flyer, because I didn't let them know who I was the first time when I ordered this thing, and it came with some straps. And then the second time they sent me some more stuff. So they do throw things in the box, package things. So they do package some goodies in, and they did send a bunch of stickers both times. There's another battery strap that I got with it, a little larger for larger quads, but I can't find it now. But that's it. Let's go check this thing out in flight. Alright, y'all, so this is the FR Sky version.
Trim center.
So let's fire it up. Whoa. The motor stop is on. So let's look at a punch out from this little guy. And the motors do stop spinning when you lower throttle to 0. I forgot about that. So I have it in air mode now. And we lost the prop. So let's see. Hopefully these props don't start coming off this thing. That's the first time that's ever happened. So let's check it out again. Nice acrobatics with it. Back in angle mode. Let's just do some flying around. Really nice pitch angle on it. Accelerometer seems to work really nice. Hardly any drift at all. And this thing is pretty fast. But it is brushless, so it should be fast. That's not even full pitch right there. So the pitch is really, really drastic. Whoa. So I don't know what the FPV is going to be like, but let's try to land it, and let's try some FPV with it. Gotta use these goggles here. Got these on deck. Let's try this. Usually I don't do goggles. You guys probably know. But we're gonna try it real quick with this. Let's go. field of view is kind of weird. Gotta get used to that. Oh! And this is really weird to fly. Or maybe I should bring it in and check my props. Let's try to land it. Okay, so let's check the props out. Make sure they're not sliding off. That rear right prop was sliding off a bit. I guess from banging around in those trees up there. So let's try to take off again. This time we're going to go to air mode. So we're not flying at angle, we're in air mode. Feels a little more comfortable. Getting pushed around a bit by the wind. I'm surprised I'm not getting sick yet. Flying this thing with goggles on. Let's bring it down. Okay, so let's go back to line of sight. Put my hat cam back on. So let me check these props. And they're not sliding this time. This battery seems a little heavy. This is the stock battery we're running right now. And compared to those little tattoo batteries that I have, these feel a little heavy. The punch out isn't as good on this battery here. So I would definitely recommend the little 300 milliamp hour tattoo batteries I have. Whoa. So that happened twice to me. It gives a little kickback if you're flying too fast and then you slow down, it does a little kickback. I think that can be tuned out by reversing the props though. So this might be ideal for flying indoors because it's not that loud. And this battery is just about extended. That was full throttle there. Whoa. And I keep forgetting that it's on motor stop. I'm so used to flying in air mode. Let's check this little guy out. So no damage done. The battery's sliding out a little bit. The buzzer is very low. Let's see if you can, I'm gonna land it and let you guys hear the buzzer. You can barely hear anything, but check it out. So that's the buzzer, pretty much useless. That's not really gonna alert anybody because you could barely hear it. So in all, it's a pretty nice flyer though. So it seems like it's getting a little weak, and I really can't hear the buzzer, so we're just going to bring it in. And that's it. The Warlark Pro. And we're definitely going to check this out with the smaller batteries that I have, so you guys can see the punch out and all, and how much added power you have by using a smaller battery. And thanks for watching.